than I think the average person hears him say.
Right, and if you listen, if you not just hear, but if you unpack what he's telling you, then it can lead you to some information that you may not have as a regular fan, like most of us don't have access to. So, as an Alabama fan, and you've known me for a while, I don't call in with the rah-rah, we're just going to take it all this year, nothing can stop us kind of stuff. I like to know the things, probe a little deeper. What are the things that can trip us up? Or, you asked me yesterday who I thought was the biggest concern for Alabama, and of course I said Auburn, and some Georgia fans took offense to that. And, they seem to be upset. And, if I was a Georgia fan, I would be happy with the seasons that we've had under Kirby Smart, but I would want to know, what do we have to do to get beyond where we've been? Because that's a realistic question, and that's an authentic one. And so, Seth Emerson brought up the fact that they were gassed. That wasn't something I brought up out of thin air. He said that on your show, so that's what I wanted to explore. Go ahead.
No, you're totally right. And I don't listen. You've made it, Greg, when you get the Georgia fans now calling in, taking shots at you.
Right, because here's the thing: just because you achieve success doesn't mean that now you are immune from criticism. Because Clemson fans are feeling it, and they don't know how to handle it.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've run into a fan base who has handled winning in a more disgraceful manner than Clemson fans.
Yeah, so you get those calls, a couple of them every day, and they start off sounding really nice, and then they really get into what's bothering them, and it just kind of goes off the cliff. And so my Georgia brethren is watch those or listen to those Clemson callers and don't be like that. Because if you can't handle the success of being number 2 in the SEC, how are you going to handle success if you actually win the whole thing?
True.
And I think it's a valid point. I mean, you can listen to Mike Griffith all you want if that's all you want to get, is that we got the best players and we're going to do everything this year.
Well, but the good thing about Mike is no matter where Mike works, you're going to hear the same thing.
Yes, he is.
He had Butch Jones ranked ahead of Newt Rockne a couple of years ago, I think.
Well, I remember at one of the shows you did down there at Tennessee, in Knoxville, Bush had said something, and you asked him to defend it, and he couldn't. But he didn't know how to not answer it, and that caught Mike Griffith off guard, and that kind of opened me up to, who Mike is. He's a company guy, regardless of the company he works for, and that's okay. That you can be that person. But if I'm a fan of any football team, I want to know what our flaws are as well as where we shine, because it's the flaws that are going to keep you from getting where you need to be. So if what I ask when I talk to you, we have a conversation, and sometimes it's just, bare level stuff, but it's to learn. And all I'll say to my Georgia friends is, if you take the time to listen to someone's entire phone call, you can always learn something. It may be not what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear sometime.
Great to have you on. Thanks, Greg. We're heading to a break. More to come. We're here for another hour and 15 minutes on this Friday before Media Days. Stick around.
Imagining a better bank starts with looking at the savings rates most banks offer and saying, really? Capital One is building something better. You can open a Capital One savings account with one of the nation's best savings rates from anywhere. Like here, or here, or here. One of the nation's best savings rates. Opened online, at a Capital One location, or from anywhere. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
For consumers only. Offered by Capital One N.A. member FDIC. Copyright 2018 Capital One.
Paul Feinbaum here for the Southeast leader for cranes and equipment rental, CraneWorks. The CraneWorks team in Nashville, Birmingham, and Mobile is ready to make your next construction or maintenance project a big success. Give CraneWorks a call for your next lift, machinery moving, or rigging project. And don't forget, RentalWorks has a full line of rental equipment for jobs both big and small, and now offering qualified operators for all equipment, including aerial and earth-moving equipment. Call CraneWorks at 877-282-LIFT or visit them on the web at craneworks.com.
I'm Jordan Glass with your sports update on ESPN Pensacola 94.5. For your Pensacola Blue Wahoos, it'll be Game 2 against Montgomery coming up later on tonight at Blue Wahoo Stadium. Chris Garagiola will have the call at 6:35. You can catch it coming up right after the Sports Drive. For your UWF Argos, they will be back in action in the football season coming up just 55 short days away. They'll be taking on Carson Newman to get it started on September 5th. You can get your tickets now online at GoArgos.com. I'm Jordan Glass with your sports update on ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
Well, here we are again, and this is looking like a pretty lopsided matchup, Jim.
That's right, Ron. I mean, in one corner, we've got a 175-pound guy, and in the other, a 6,000-ton heavyweight train?
Jim, this guy has no idea what he's getting himself into.
Ron, the size difference alone is staggering.
Oh, unbelievable, Jim. And this guy is acting like he doesn't have a care in the world.
What is this guy thinking, Ron?
Well, this is one of those rare moments where I actually find myself at a loss for words.
I can hardly bear to watch.
It's no contest. Every day, people tempt fate and die trespassing on railroad tracks. Railroad tracks are more dangerous than you think. See tracks, think train. For more safety tips and information, visit ctracksthinktrain.org.
Now that Human Resources Director Fernando Pino has Kronos for HR, payroll, talent, and time, he's completely crushing it. He even has his own hype song.
Supporting our entire workforce. Everyone has different hours, skill sets, and pay grades.
I'm on the top. I'm gonna rise up. I'm on the top. I'm gonna rise up. Now we are
motivating and engaging our people every step of the way.
Blast off to the front of the field. This is
Kronos, HR solutions for the modern workforce and the people who support them. Learn more at kronos.com/HR swagger.
I'm on the top. I'm gonna rise up. I'm on the top. I'm gonna rise up. I'm on the top.
He was a star quarterback at Pensacola High, played alongside Gator great Steve Spurrier, and rose up the ranks to become head coach of the Buffalo Bills. Now, he's talking football on ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Coach K brings football to life year-round. The teams, the players, and the front office. Talk football with Coach K every day at noon on your radio. And Coach K live on Facebook and YouTube at ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
Hey there, I'm a glue stick, so I have one job. I glue kid stuff. So sorry for being jealous of Geico, who does a ton more, like give you 24/7 access to thousands of licensed agents. And Geico has been around for over 75 years and has a 97% customer satisfaction rating. While I've just got mediocre adhesive skills, Geico also has an award-winning mobile app. Uh-oh, arts and crafts time. No eating the glue stick, Miss Lydia!
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Getting knocked down on the football field makes you tough, but getting back up makes you tougher. At Goodyear, we call that determination. A willingness to put in more hours, more reps, and more heart to reach a bar that's sky high. Because the Goodyear blimp doesn't show up for just anybody. So don't be just anybody. Be blimp-worthy. Goodyear, more driven.
Talk football every day at noon with Pensacola's own legendary Coach K on your radio, on Facebook, and on YouTube at ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
Legend is up next. Legend, good afternoon, my friend.
What's up, Paul? Thanks for taking my call, sir. Thanks for taking my call.
Did you hear Kubiak a minute ago? I don't know if you could hear that or not.
What did he say?
Mark, are you around?
No, it's just saying, going off of what Greg said, he asked that Clemson fans don't act like they've been there or they're being kind of bullish after this season, and he was angry about it. And I said, winning a championship gives you the right to be bullish, does it not?
Yeah, it gives you a right to talk. Yeah, it sure does. I mean, if Georgia was to finally get some kahunas and beat Alabama, they'd have a right to talk, too, but they don't have no right to talk. So Clemson has a right to talk, Mark. I would agree with that.
But there's one thing to have a right to talk and then just to throw up all over yourself and trying to make a point, which Clemson fans have been doing since January 7th.
Well, I mean, there's no doubt they're a shooting star. They're not a superstar. I mean, George Teague said it best a few weeks ago. He said that Clemson is not the new Alabama. I mean, Danny Ford ain't Bear Bryant. I mean, these folks ain't never been where they are at the moment. So they are like a new girl at the ball.
Yeah, I mean, very nouveau riche. They walk in the store and instead of like asking for quality, they just say, "Hey, what's the most expensive thing you got?"
Absolutely. They're like that guy 2 Chainz with that show, the most expensive.
Yeah, they walk in the restaurant. Just give me the most expensive bottle of beer you got, most expensive wine. I want the biggest steak. I mean, they are winners with no class. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. They're the Johnny-come-lately. They ain't been there before. I mean, yeah, they beat Alabama, so what? Us losing last year was the best thing that happened to college football. If Alabama wins again last year, we might not even be talking about sports right now. I mean, even in defeat, we are the godfather of college football. You know, we are the Muhammad Ali of college football, Paul. The college football world centers around Alabama, even in defeat. And I would just like to say this to Tim Brando. Timmy. Oh, Timmy. I mean, to quote another South Park character, drugs are bad, okay? I mean, ain't no way Clemson going to beat us down again. I would agree with one thing that he had to say, Paul, and this is right here. I'm not disrespecting Mr. Brando because I love Mr. Brando. He's one of the greatest announcers ever. He should be the CBS play-by-play guy, in my opinion. But his Achilles heel, his kryptonite, is his hatred for Alabama, Paul. No doubt about it. Mr. Brando's kryptonite is his hatred for Alabama. But I would agree with one thing. All these games starting with Florida and Miami in August, all the way to the national championship game is irrelevant. Everybody knows it's going to be Alabama, Clemson again, but it ain't going to go down that way again, Paul. We are coming strong because we've been here before. Defeat don't destroy us.
You know, Legend, I think there's a better chance of a better chance of Alabama winning by 28 than Clemson winning by 28.
Absolutely. Let's see Clemson replace 4 future pro players on their defensive line with 4 more same quality defensive linemen the same way Alabama has year in and year out. And I will say this, Paul. I heard your comment about the coaching carousel at the University of Alabama and how it's affected Nick Saban. I can't really tell because we 28-2 in the last 30. I can't really tell that it's affecting us this bad. But I will agree with you that Clemson's continuity on their coaching staff does benefit them greatly. But I would trade that whole bunch of coaches that we had last year for Sunseri. I think this coaching staff is so much better than the one we had last year. I was so glad to see Loxley go. I don't even know what to do. What that defensive coordinator was doing last year, I don't know. But I feel as long as we got Nick, we ain't got no problem, baby. We're going to be right back there again, in your face, Clemson, because that's who we are. We are the king. You're just a Johnny-come-lately. Timmy. Love you, Paul.
Thank you very much. Didn't hear a kiss the rings there, did you? That's the poet laureate of the Alabama nation right there, laying down some serious smack, guys. So, Mark, did that satisfy you?
I mean, so he said they're going to be back? I mean, yeah. I guess Alabama is under the most pressure in college football this year because they're expected to get back to the championship game. Not the SEC championship game, not just the playoffs, the national championship game.
Well, so is Clemson. I think they have the same expectation.
Well, yeah, but Clemson, if they lose, look, they can hang their head on a 28-point beatdown for as long as they want.
The difference is Clemson's already in the national championship game with the ACC schedule.
Right, yeah. If they somehow didn't make it, that'd be clownish.
Clownish, right. Look, both of them are under pressure to make it. We'll see who handles the pressure the best.
And by the way, so Georgia has some pressure, too. We have pressure to get to the break, but we have one more hour where there is no pressure. Please call us.
When the sand gets hot, you gotta move fast, like a dog chasing a Frisbee. Move just as fast to the Ford Hurry Up and Save sales event. Because for the first time ever, you can get 20% estimated savings on select Ford vehicles. Plus, earn complimentary maintenance through Ford Pass Rewards. Don't let this hot deal on America's best-selling brand pass you by. Get into the Ford Hurry Up and Save sales event. Based on 2010 through 2018 calendar year sales. Modem must be activated within 60 days of purchase through the Ford Pass app on a smartphone and remain active for at least 6 months after activation. Eligible on select 2019 model year vehicles. Vehicle must have arrived at dealer at least 61 days prior to the sale date. Estimated savings include an average dealer discount based on a sales survey of average discounts offered by Ford dealers nationally. Discount may vary. Dealer determines price. For all offers, take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stocked by 9/3/19. See participating dealer for complete details.
If you have over $10,000 in credit card debt and are behind on your monthly payments, you need to make this free call right now. 800-428-4187. When you call the Stop Debt Hotline, you're taking the first steps for help. Debt specialists are part of a real team who will help you with all of your options. You could stop the collection calls and letters forever by calling the completely confidential toll-free number right now. 800-428-4187. 800-428-4187. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can handle your debt forever. Imagine no more late nights and no more debt. Don't try to face your creditors alone. Call the Stop Debt Hotline right now. 800-428-4187. 800-428-4187. Get free information now by calling the Stop Debt Hotline. 800-428-4187. Non-attorney spokesperson paid for by Debt Resolution Helpline. 102 Northeast 2nd Street, number 183, Boca Raton, Florida, 33432.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit ignition.
And then?
And then nothing. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite.
Look out! Look out!
And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
If you're hitting 200 at the plate for the Pensacola Blue Wahoos, life isn't that great. But if you're hitting up 200 before the Wahoos games, things can't get much better. 200 South is your Blue Wahoos pre-party destination. Grab an ice-cold draft with the best selection in town at World of Beer. Relax in the most hoppin' spot at Blend Lounge. Or grab a quick bite to eat at Graffiti Pizza or Taco Aguave before the game. 200 South Palafox in downtown Pensacola. Peanuts and Cracker Jacks are all right, but a slice and an ice-cold draft? Now that's a home run.
Sports is live and local every Saturday from 11 to 1.
Kawhi, him and his free agency, or him just sitting around waiting to sign with the team, had a lot to do with more than just the Lakers. There were other teams that were tied into this trade as well to determine their next moves. And for the Lakers, they still haven't finalized the Anthony Davis deal.
Sports Call with Jordan Glass and Davis Allen on your radio, on Facebook, and YouTube.
Southern California basketball is going to be where everybody's paying attention to this upcoming season.
At ESPN Pensacola 94.5. On today's episode of America's Least Wanted, the home invaders most likely to threaten your family are not human. Cockroaches can spread salmonella and trigger asthma attacks. Termites destroy billions of dollars in property each year. And stinging insects send 500,000 people to emergency rooms. Learn how to protect your family. Arm yourself with the facts at pestworld.org. A public service announcement from the National Pest Management Association.
This is Pensacola's hometown all-sports station and home of the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Catch all the Wahoos games home and away all season, plus all the latest Wahoos news from Chad Brilliante on the Sports Drive, 5 till game time weeknights. And hey, if your business would like to partner with us as an advertiser or with a local sports promotion, then give us a call at 850-262-6000 or shoot us an email from the advertise page on ESPNpensacola.com.
Those up on the head to the shoulder at the 40. Derek Brooks 30. Brooks to the 25. 20. Derek Brooks all the way. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Derek Brooks, the dagger's in. We're going to win the Super Bowl.
Noah Watson is wearing a green jacket, and this time his name is Bubba.
Pitch on the way. Russell drives one in the air. Deep left center. That's back near the wall. It's got a chance. Grand slam. Grand slam, Addison Russell.
The new WNBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
And Richardson breaks free on the sideline. End zone. How about that? Bama scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trick Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And these them Louisiana, Pensacola guys, they looking crazy and all that.
Morris, blocked by the tight end Paul. That opens up the door. Breaking the Kendricks tackle. To the pylon. Touchdown.
Really nice effort there by Alfred Morris, extending that ball over the goal line.
Near side ball was that big game. Doug Baldwin's got a first down. Doug Baldwin, 93 yards, now has back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Reggie Edmonds, and he's going to get an ovation. Guy from Pensacola, Florida.
And welcome into the Sports Drive right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV. I am Chad Brilliante. Glad to be with you. You got the Blue Angels going on this week, and people are partying. They're out there stumbling around, having a great time, enjoying life, and probably I was the only guy, by the way, in the morning that was going against traffic, going back out to the mainland to go to urgent care on what my toe looked like one of those Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. And you know, all these other people have been probably partying today, and I feel the most loopy of all. So we'll have some fun today. I've already warned him if I do fall over today from the medication.
If we just abruptly go to a commercial break, it's because he's passed out and we need to get him medical treatment.
So a lot of things that you can't pronounce, like medical term kind of things, like you're on this, like tell me what you're going to do. I'm going to take a needle and shove it in your backside. Gotcha. Okay. Sounds a lot better right there. We're good to go. But, yeah, it's been fun today on a bunch of medication.
It feels really good a little bit later.
To let anyone know if they care, they're like, no, we don't. We want to get to sports. But there is a bacterial virus
virus that has grown underneath my nail. It is not. Now Jordan's like, I'm out. Quarantine. Yep. Show's over. But it's underneath it, and it has turned my whole toe into like a pretty much a cherry launch pad.
And we're not talking about one of those John Madden tough acting Tinactin type. No, this
can't just spray. No, icy hot will just make a false impression right there.
Like,
Y'all be like, ooh, jumping around.
When you used to watch cartoons, like all my 90s babies will recognize this, and like they'd stub their thumb, and their thumb would just grow and get really red and start pulsing. That's his big toe right now.
Yes, it is. So there's a lot of things right now. I got timesheets on my desk I got to turn in for work. We got stuff just showed up a little while ago. Got muffins and Subway behind here because I'm not apparently supposed to eat all that stuff without food. But we have a lot to get to today. The Blue Wahoos will be back in action at home and should be a good night. Look, a little Blues Friday night. Go out to the ballpark, watch some Blue Wahoos baseball against Montgomery, and then Jordan get a chance to get back out there and beat traffic tomorrow.
Yeah, and if you're going to beat traffic tomorrow, you need to be leaving about, let's see, I'm leaving at this time, so I'll make you leave an hour after I do. So leave about 5 a.m. So, yeah, leave about 5 a.m. You should get nice and stuck in traffic. I can get a nice spot over on the beach. So there you go. Yeah.
Looking at some of the things, we didn't talk about it yesterday because it happened after the show. Russell Westbrook, now a member of the Houston Rockets, and ESPN showed this, the new starting lineup.
Right.
Capella, Tucker, Harden, Gordon. Well, I'm like, could you just waste our time? Stop going through that and just going with Westbrook and Paul, because that's all you flipped. Game over right there. Yeah, it's all you did was flip was the 2 point guards, which frankly they both have their strengths. Yeah. Chris Paul makes the team better. Russell Westbrook is a better athlete, and right now with his career is a little younger and has a little more pep in the step. Look, Chris Paul has suffered some injuries, and I said it before. A lot of people talk about this with Major League Baseball pitchers, Mark Mulder, or guys like a CC Sabathia, or people out there that have arm injuries, and what happens is they try to come back, and they're used to throwing 9,800 gas, and they can't do that anymore.
No.
And you just got to realize that's never going to be the same pitcher after those Tommy John surgeries or after their injuries. And when it comes down to Chris Paul, after all those hamstring injuries, he was a great defensive player for his size too. But now his lateral movement's not the same. He can't play as many minutes, and that is a key. Really, the biggest thing a long time ago, they said, what is your favorite stat as a coach with your great players? Like, what do you want your elite athletes to do in the NBA? And he said, minutes played. Because if they play the whole game, we have a better chance of winning if he's the best player, stamina-wise. Those big goons in there that, like Taco Fall, man, when he's on the court, the teams usually are doing well. The problem is he only can go about 16 minutes a game. Yeah, he was out there having some fun for the Celtics. I like that he got to the Celtics right there as well. But we got a lot to get to on there. I think the Russell Westbrook trade, to me, is it makes them a teeny bit better at this point, but it does not make them enough to get to the next level, which is right now you got the LA Lakers, you got the LA Clippers, and you also have a team that got better in Golden State if they stay healthy with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson.
I think it's a nightmare. I personally think it's a nightmare with Westbrook going to Houston because it's teaming him back up with Harden, and when they were together in OKC, wasn't that great of a pairing. I mean, you got to feel bad for James Harden. He finally gets away from Durant. He gets away from Westbrook. He gets away from those guys, and he's able to go out and be his own player on his own team, and now that team goes out and brings in Russell Westbrook to once again pair up with him. It didn't work in OKC. I don't think it's going to work in Houston. It's a good idea in theory because they're both good caliber basketball players, but they don't work well together, and that's going to be what makes it a nightmare.
In their 40th career showdown, Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal put on an incredible show there in Wimbledon. Yeah. And I'm telling you what, it's one of these. Finally, Federer outlasted. He is the number 2 seed, and Rafael Nadal the number 3 seed. But both of them combined have more majors in tennis than any other player. Combined, I mean, if you took a duo, most of any duo. And Rafael Nadal is sitting there right now on Central Court in his 12th finals opportunity. It was 7-6, 1-6, 6-3, 6-4. That 6-4 final set was probably better. I had some time to lay around because the doctor told me not to get up and do things like come down here, but I couldn't help it. You can't sit around all day on the catch, especially there's no day baseball or anything. The Cubs, those Cubs. But I'm telling you, overall, it is. You see these guys all the time. 40th career showdown, and now the winner gets to take on Novak Djokovic, and no shock there. What we're having out of these 3 guys, Roger Federer is 38 years old. Mm-hmm. This is insane. Insanity that a tennis player is dominating a sport. And believe me, you know that somebody out there wants to be the next guy to write a book, to go down the Lance Armstrong, not the 1-ball, 3-strike count, but the Lance Armstrong story of finding out that Roger Federer was a cheat. You know what I'm saying? He has nothing. He has shown nothing that he is in any way. He's done it the right way. He's a nice guy. If he was American, we should have parades for him every day. But the difference between Federer is, somebody's at 38 is looking for, because a lot of people look at PEDs and they look at the guy walking around Hans and Franz. We will pump you up. Those kind of guys. No, the guys that are the ones a lot of times are using it for longevity, for soreness. Mm-hmm. I got a steroid shot today because my toe didn't look like a balloon. People get it for pain and to take down inflammation, to get back out on the field, to get back out on the court. And you would think a guy that 38 in tennis is equivalent to playing baseball at about 55, I'd say. And it's equivalent to playing basketball in your mid-40s. Because 38 in tennis, remember, a lot of guys in their prime start tennis around 19, 20, 21 years old. So you're talking about 2 decades. Well, think about how many great players have moved up. You have kids now that are playing you that can be your kid. So, and you're still winning, not just winning out there.
Right.
You're actually winning the tournaments. Very rarely or ever do you see somebody on the senior tour, even if he's a legend, beating the youngsters. Think about that in golf. If you had a guy that was a great golfer, they're not usually getting out there. They're playing their own Champions Tour. They're older, shorter tees. They do their thing. Federer, at 38, is still going out there and not only playing well, but winning majors. The biggest, has a chance at Wimbledon. And it's incredible to think. And this guy, like I said, we talk about so many athletes. You talk about dominating your sport. Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic are good for the sport of tennis because you have 3 powerhouses all at the same time, and they all come through. They come through huge because people want to watch Djokovic, Federer, and Federer versus Nadal over Federer versus Bing Bang Boom in a game that we have no clue and we don't know who he is, and it gets beat by 4 sets. These guys still live up to it, and it's not just the name status. Jordan, so many people today want to look at names and branding before results. Think about it. Terrell Owens and Chad Ochocinco were the most recognizable faces as wide receivers. Des Bryant. But that didn't make him the best, because while Des was dropping footballs, guys like Doug Baldwin, who wasn't a household all-over posters, people knew who Doug was right here from Gulf Breeze, one of the best, but Doug didn't get the recognition of a Ochocinco or one of those kind of guys. Yeah. But he actually was more reliable when it comes to catching the football in his prime. Just ratio. But he didn't live that kind of life. That's the difference, is branding yourself. Everybody wants to catch one-handed footballs like Odell Beckham. Nobody wants to run screen routes, the kids on the streets, like Julian Edelman. It's true. But that's what you're having here, is the best are still winning. They're still dominating at the sport, and it's not just the names, but it's backing it up as well, and pretty cool to see.
Yeah, and it is really cool to see, and it's really unprecedented, like you said, and it's very similar to, like you said, a Major League Baseball player playing into their 50s, around 55. When was the last time we saw that? I can only think of one time in my lifetime, and that was Julio Franco. He played till, 56, 57, something like that. And even then, that still wasn't necessarily at a high level of play for him. He was just still in a shape to where he could still get out there, swing a bat, throw a baseball, and field a ground ball. So what they're doing is absolutely phenomenal, especially for their age. But again, like we've seen, guys like Drew Brees, guys like Tom Brady, sometimes age isn't necessarily a factor. If you're talented enough and you practice and you work and you prepare the right way, sometimes you can now beat Father Time.
NFLPA Executive Director Damari Smith gives us the Captain Obvious statement of the day here. He said, 18-game schedule would not be in the best interest of the players. Pretty much, yeah. So they have to play 2 more games to get beat up, and it's probably not going to change the ratio of pay a ton. Yeah, I mean, if TV rights, they'll get a little more, but they're not going to get that much worth like you would if you added that much. But
let me ask you this, because I wanted to ask you this, because this is something that we talked about earlier today on Talk Football. Dak Prescott was talking about how the situation with the Cowboys, of all the players that they have to pay right now, you look at Amari Cooper, Dak's someone that needs to get paid, Ezekiel Elliott, and there's 3 or 4 other players. You take a look at this team, and for this team, they need to spread the money around. And in order to do that, that means somebody's probably going to either have to go find another team to play for, or they're going to have to take a pay cut. But Dak Prescott came out and he said, no, I don't know. With things like gambling and everything becoming a part of the sport now, it might be an opportunity to where we can start getting paid more. Do you really see gambling? Is it along the same lines of like the TV revenue and things like that? If there were 2 more games added, that it might give them a little bit of a bump in pay, but it's not going to be that much, or is it even going to affect them at all?
Oh, it would if they opened it up to all the states.
That's
but
true.
That's the difference. Is when that law, they passed the law that pretty much ended the 1992 ruling that the U.S. Supreme Court had that you could not gamble in the United States,
right,
or sports betting. No sports betting in the United States. And then they opened that up. But just because they opened that up didn't mean that people were jumping around. Like I heard, crazy, like you have to have, like you have to be in a Target family to own a Starbucks. Like you have to be able to, like, so that narrows down the field. But so think about, or like as proprietors, or have some ties to the Target family to get
right
there. But like it's like if you did that, you're narrowing down the playing field, and then people still have to go and make their choices to build them. So in this case here, even though they said we're giving you that chance, 90% of the cities were like, no, we're not doing it. We're not going to add that. We're a small little southern town with a couple churches and stop signs. We don't need to put a sports book right in our backyard. That's not going to help our family members. But if they did open it up, like if you think about this, think about today, folks. If you had Blue Angels Week, and you had the sports
50
books
on the
down
fact
there,
that they're gonna fly.
Oh, and
yeah.
imagine not only with the I'm not betting on the Blue Angels,
no,
please,
no,
but
no.
I mean, but if you had that down there and it started to rain today,
yeah,
people, there's baseball games going on right now. Max Scherzer's on the mound. Like how many, or the Nationals, but Strasburg. If you look at how many people would be flocking there to get a chance to watch and put a couple dollars down, all these drunks that have money. And when I say all these drunks, I say that a kind way. That's part of the theory. I mean,
had a couple of too many White
listen,
Claws
we
on the
all
beach
are. I'm
waiting
not
for the
calling
Blues.
you
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's just part of Blue Angels in a lot of ways. But how many people would be going down there? Like everybody down there would be watching the games and do that if all those hotels open that up. But we don't. And that's the thing, is because of that, the revenue stream is not going to be the same. And they're right, though. They should. They're already getting it. Every state has their people that are already getting it and making it. And look, Alabama, for the folks out there on the west side of Alabama, close to when you're pulling in right there by Pascagoula, when you're on I-10, past 68, 65, but had a horrible wreck, by the way. An 18-wheeler was on fire earlier, the whole thing. But maybe they were selling, the little Bics. But I'm telling you, it was one. Nobody got hurt, by the way, in that.
Right,
we can make jokes. He got out before it blew up. Not 100% on that, but that just guys like tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow is actually I don't know why I'm laughing at this. Okay, it's a medicine. All right, get back to Pascagoula. For the folks right there on the border of Alabama, they're hopping right across
to Biloxi,
15 minutes, and then going to Biloxi another 30, and they're making the money for Biloxi instead of what could be their own state governing it and making money.
True. Put a nice little spot there on Dolphin Island.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tommy Tufferville could just lay the gavel down. He doesn't have a gavel. He's not a judge, but hopefully he wins that. I like Tommy. Yeah, we'll see.
He's just gonna make one. It's a new rule. I
That's
get a gavel.
awesome.
I get a gavel, guys.
Sure. Why do you bring a gavel with you?
War
That's
Eagle.
not how it works. It has to pass checks and balances. We got to get. We still like you hitting that gavel does not change the fact that it still has to be passed. Okay, like
War Eagle.
Done.
It passes.
We're done,
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
That's it. It's Roger Goodell.
Yeah.
Done. DeMaurice Smith saying it's not in the best interest to play 18 games, which we would like 18 games.
Yeah.
As a fan,
Yeah.
if one fan, without thinking about everything else, but if they were like, oh, I know, I wouldn't want 2 more games of regular season football.
They're full of crap.
Two
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
We all look at each other in that final week, especially if your team's not in the playoffs. Dolphins, your team,
Thank you. Yeah.
and you're sitting there, and we're down at Beef O'Brady's, the
Yeah.
Cool Cards tailgate zone with Thane and Nathan and all the guys out there, Randy, and we're sitting there watching it from the Sleep Center Fantasy Sleeper show that you got to host, and we're finishing up, and you could tell by the final weeks, there's that sense of like, crap, I'm going to have to do yard work and things on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no more, there's games starting at 11, and they'll be ending all the way, and then if you're lucky to get a London game, forget about it.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, that's first thing in the morning all
Get
the way
up at 4
across.
in the morning,
Yeah, so overall, though, we're going to take a look there and have some fun with that. When we come back here on the Sports Drive, we're going to talk a little more Blue Wahoos baseball, and we'll get to more on some of the other things going on in football. It's all coming back right here in the Sports Drive.
Guys, the secret is out. If you want healthy sex, your body needs nitric oxide. And now you can boost your nitric oxide production faster than you thought possible with Ageless Male Tonight, the absurdly fast formula from the #1 brand in male enhancement. Just take one capsule an hour before romantic activity. You'll get clinically tested ingredients that rapidly boost nitric oxide production, and it won't go unnoticed. Rush to Walmart and get Ageless Male Tonight.
I'm Troy Rafferty, and many of you know about my love for sports and my longtime support for our local high school athletes. One thing these fine young people have taught me over the years is this: whether it's on the ball field, in the classroom, or in a court of law, always work your hardest and achieve the best results possible. And that is the commitment we make to our clients and our community.
Levin Papantonio in Pensacola since 1955.
The Big One sales event is on at Bob Tyler Toyota with special low Bob Tyler prices. New 2019 Highlander LE just $249 a month. New 2019 Tacoma Double Cab SR5 $229 a month. Or new 2019 Tundra Double Cab SR5 4.6 liter V8 just $289 a month. Bob Tyler Toyota has over 10 acres of pre-owned vehicles. Hurry in before the Big One sales event ends. Approved credit, 12,000 mile, 36-month leases, $49.99 cash or trade equity down, excludes tax tag, registration, title, zero security deposit. All prices include $899.50 dealer fees. See dealer for details. Expires 7/31/19.
Business owners of Escambia and Santa Rosa counties, listen to this important message.
This is Jeffrey, the marketing consultant for ESPN, News Radio 92.3, and Talk Radio WEBY. I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people just like you increase their business traffic and drive revenue into their doors. My service works. I design creative, attention-getting commercials that get results. It works for them and will work for you. I know what you're thinking. No one listens to commercials, right? Well, you just did. Call me, Jeffrey, 262-6000.
Sports is live and local every Saturday from 11 to 1.
Kawhi, him and his free agency, or him just sitting around waiting to sign with the team, had a lot to do with more than just the Lakers. There were other teams that were tied into this trade as well to determine their next moves. And for the Lakers, they still haven't finalized the Anthony Davis deal.
Sports Call with Jordan Glass and Davis Allen on your radio, on Facebook, and YouTube.
Southern California basketball is going to be where everybody's paying attention to this upcoming season.
At ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
And welcome back. Sports Drive with you right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV, as we've got a number of fun guests who will be joining us here on today's show, and we're going to enjoy that coming up here in a few minutes from now. We're going to talk some more as the Pensacola Blue Wahoos are back in town, looking to get that win against Montgomery. You know what, it's one of these kind of teams no matter what. And today I'm looking out there. We got a couple windows in here. We're sort of in the middle zone, so I'm not going to be a meteorologist or anything, but I do see a couple windows, and it looks a little windy and cloudy. So if at the right wind, maybe like a sacrifice bunt will become a home run if it keeps on picking up like that.
Short porch left, just go into the bay.
That's right. But it's going to be fun because, you look at – you always get about a 10, 15 mile per hour breeze down there, even on the hottest of hot days, which you expect in July. And they're doing well, and we need the support of everybody out there after a tough start to the second half to try to get in and have an opportunity at the playoffs. We're going to talk a little more. The XFL, I had a conversation the other day, and I talked with former NFL coach Kay Stevenson about this. But the XFL is coming through, and we know Vince McMahon, who is part of WWE, he can brand things. He's been incredible at branding. And that's the thing is, whether you agree with all of his branding or not, is not up to his bank account. That's what I mean by that is our opinions are great. I love to see those documentaries, and if I said maybe their burgers are made of pink ooze, and you're like, but guess what? They also have a sign that may or may not say a billion served, and they really do not care what documentaries as long as you got lines and then 2 lines trying to get people around. Whether you think, and it's probably not the best diet plan, but you know what? Sometimes you need a $1 burger, and you're driving on the highway for 5 hours, and it's a good meal. And those fries are good, and you're looking off. Then right there in the jeans,
Are
the
we
wipe
sure
away jeans.
that's a good idea if you're driving for 5 hours?
The wipe away jeans.
Yeah,
That's when you
yeah.
need the wipe away jeans right there. I created this idea, just like those Dickies. You pull out the patch, and you're on the road, and you got the wipe away towelette jeans right there, and then throw them out. I'm just saying. For all the times I've had barbecue stains on my hands right there, and there's a song about white T-shirt, getting it on. I've actually had that happen to me a few times. But the XFL, do you think it could be a feeder league to college football, from college football, or a path away from college football to get to directly the NFL? So if you're a high school kid,
Right.
and instead of maybe or maybe not working out for a team as a 4- and 5-star recruit, the XFL says we'll pay you this, which is not going to be the NFL number, but it might be $150,000. We're going to pay you $150,000 or $100,000 to play with us now, and you'll make $300,000 or $200,000 by the time the 2 years or 3 years is done, and you're now ready for the NFL. Just like a minor league system in baseball. I mean, I know I disagree with that because it would ruin the college game.
It would.
It would also ruin a lot of these kids that would get an education to fall back on, a chance to meet friends for life, and the passion that you get in college football that you don't get anywhere else. So as a fan, I wouldn't like that. But if you're a kid and you say, I can give you $300,000 or you have to wait 2 years and maybe get money, it's hard for those kids, especially a lot of them grow up in impoverished areas. They grow up in areas where they want to help their family out. And if you said, kid, I can give you $500,000 right now, write you a check, it's hard for a lot of people to walk away.
Yeah,
so I'm saying it could work with that.
Yeah. Look, if they come out and they say, yeah, we're going to pay you right out of high school to play football. You don't even have to worry about going to college. Just come play with us a couple of years, and then we'll send you to the NFL. And, oh, by the way, when you're playing with us, you make, $300,000-$400,000 over the course of 2 years.
And you get to meet Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I mean, high school kids now maybe going
Ric Flair, and you get all woo, you get them all out there. So,
woo, no. But I think it would ruin college football if they come out and they say we're going to create this to where you can come right out of high school into the XFL. College football's over because what you're going to get, and I don't mean any disrespect to Division III football players, but your Division I talent is going to suddenly start being those Division III players because that's going to be where those schools have to go. Maybe not Division III, maybe Division II.
Yeah.
But
Division III players look like me.
They're going to drop off, is what I'm saying. There's going to be a big drop off from what we see now in the SEC to what would happen because guys like Trevor Lawrence, guys like Raekwon Davis at Alabama right now, who's going to get paid next year going into the draft. They would be in the XFL. They wouldn't be going to the college football level. So
it opens up an interesting point. And remember, the NFL and the NCAA have never correlated to the point where they've worked perfectly hand in hand. They both have made their money. They both have been successful. But Mark Emmert and Roger Goodell, they don't sing Kumbaya together. You're on the campfire.
To that point, though, can Vince McMahon and Roger Goodell sing Kumbaya together? I don't see those two egos being able to click.
But Vince McMahon can get the cash flow going real fast.
He can get the cash flow
and the
going,
cross promotion.
Yeah.
We have WWE here this week. Think
That's
about
right,
it. The rest, they use the filter. Bing, bing, bing. All of a sudden, people are, tweet out NFL Insider right here to your XFL league favorite. All of a sudden, boom, he knows what he's doing. I think another thing that people don't know what they're doing is joking about, can you steal first base? Well, a minor league baseball league in the Atlantic League has a new rule proposed to do exactly that. Major League Baseball and the Independent Atlantic League recently entered a 3-year agreement in which the Atlantic League will adopt experimental rules suggested to study the effects on gameplay with a chance with pretty much what they'll do is you have a chance to actually go out there and steal first base. So meaning like if you throw a ball and then the catcher's throwing it back to the mound, you can just take off. Instead, well, clearly the guys that won't be stealing first. You know what I'm saying? Like lay back, just sort of, and you could toy with them. Like I'm watching like a Disney kids movie where like they throw the ball like a couple inches away. So you're like tempting the guy, like, oh man, I can't pick up that baseball. It's about 5 feet from me. For that big guy to like drop the bat and try to take off down first, and then you run over the ball and throw him out. But yeah, this league, this is definitely one to me that is not.
That is not the right song. We won't play it.
I like the face in Benny Hill's making right there, but that was more rock than I was gonna say.
There we go.
There we go.
That's what you would get.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what they'd be doing running to first. And you would also know the guys that are not as strong at the plate, because who's going to sacrifice the chance to jack one out of the park? It's just to run down first and get thrown out. So on that note, I hope that doesn't work out. They've had some crazy rules, but the biggest thing about baseball is a game played by the purists. It is a game that they don't want to go away from what the stats are, because stats are just as important in baseball a lot of times than championships. Think about it.
Yeah.
Mike Trout is known as the best baseball player right now, and Mike Trout has 0 rings. No other sport can say that. Tom Brady is looked at as the best player. The Michael Jordans are looked at the best player because they are the champions. In baseball, because there are so many individual accolades, you can have home runs, and you could be Clayton Kershaw and be a Cy Young every win. He has 0 rings. That's the thing is, sometimes you look at those guys, and baseball's that one sport where you can be an individual and grow, and stats are so important. So if you shorten the season, you make the season longer, it's going to mess with that. Nobody wants to see a 25 home run king if they had a 60-game season. It just doesn't sound right. But that's what would happen. And it would take the mind a lot of time to adjust to what they should do. Because even as a baseball fan, season is way too long. It is way too long. And if you did shorten it, how cool would that be when teams like, you look at a game like tonight where you have a Houston versus Texas, or you have a game with teams like Atlanta and San Diego, or Minnesota and Cleveland, who are both having good years this year. That game would mean so much more if the season wasn't, hey, we can get swept and come back and win, a couple more.
Or we could just go the Sternberg method and just play half here and then half here and half here and half here.
Split squad games?
Yeah. Why not?
That's too confusing. I don't even know what I'm rooting for. Minnesota Twins, A or B? Who am I cheering for right now? Your kid goes out to get his
training.
Kid goes to get an autograph here. Mr. Sano? Be like, oh, no, he's at the other ballpark. Like, but you're the Twins, right? Don't worry about it, kid. Yeah, sometimes I think that'd be a horrible idea, but we'll leave it at that. Yeah. We'll leave it, and I think that was a horrible idea. We're coming back for more right here on the Sports Drive. It's Friday. Hope you enjoyed the Blues, having some fun, and we'll come back for more with some special guests right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV.
The year was 1919. Barbasol shaving cream was invented by a dreamer named Frank Shields. The world's first modern shave cream, Barbasol changed the face of shaving forever. A few billion shaves later, Frank's dream lives on. Behind every face is a dream. Barbasol proudly salutes every fearless, self-assured, wide-eyed dreamer all across America. Celebrating 100 years. Barbasol.
Our Pensacola Wahoos are back for another season, and with the new season comes some fresh and new changes. Our Wahoos are now the new AA affiliate of the Minnesota Twins, and they have a new broadcast home here in Pensacola, right here at your hometown station for hometown sports, ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Catch all the Wahoos action from home and away with Chris Garagiola. Wahoos baseball presented by Denny's on the new official flagship station for the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and ESPNpensacola.com.
All right, it's time for some straight talk. You wouldn't pay $100 for seats to a baseball game when you can get the same seats for $50. So why pay more on your wireless when you can get the same 4G LTE networks for up to half the cost? For $45 a month, get our unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data from Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, only at Walmart.
Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Sports is live and local every Saturday from 11 to 1.
This Toronto Raptor team deserved this championship because they played their butts off in the series.
Sports Call with Jordan Glass and Davis Allen on your radio, on Facebook, and YouTube.
Hey, maybe you played for losing teams growing up. You just maybe don't understand what it's like to be a champion like this. But guess what? Whenever you are the best team in the world, you're going to let everyone know you're the best team in the world.
At ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
We know what you want. Good, healthy food that tastes great. Well, we're here to tell you it doesn't exist. Healthy food is for suckers, and if you say you like it, you're nothing but a chump. Be honest, this is what you want to eat. A gigantic burger from Steak Burger. It tastes amazing. What's in it? Who cares? How many calories? Shut up. It's awesome. So get over to Steak Burger now and get one in your belly, or you're a nerd. Feed your hunger the right way. Give it a Steak Burger, 440 East Chase Street, Pensacola.
This is a message from the emergency stuffed crust warning system.
Cheese!
cheese.
Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest Pizza now has 3 feet of cheese stuffed in the crust for just $9. I repeat, it has 3 feet of cheese stuffed in the crust.
Cheese!
That concludes the message from the emergency stuffed crust warning system. Get a large Little Caesars Extra Most Bestest pepperoni stuffed crust pizza for $9. Top 4 national pizza chains. Extra Most Bestest Pizza versus large round 1-topping pepperoni pizza. Everyday standard menu prices. 3 feet of cheese before cooking at participating locations plus tax.
Pizza, pizza.
And welcome back. Sports Drive with you right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV. A reminder, we're right around the corner from UWF football, about a month and a half, and we are your home for Argonauts football. Excited about that, what Coach Pete Shinnick has done and getting the kids down to Blue Wahoo Stadium. And talking about the local community and getting involved. You know, we talk about, this is one of the great things about where we live is because it's not just about the mainstream. I mean, the major team sports. Think about Bubba Watson's. Or Roy Jones Jr., or all these guys that have made an impact, not only being good, but incredible, some of the best of all time. At one point, Roy was looked at as pound for pound, maybe the best boxer of all time, and he lives right here. Justin Gatlin, world's fastest man at one point. I mean, that's a pretty decent thing to say. Like, imagine having that conversation. You're sitting there on a plane, and you talk to that person you usually not talk to, and you're like, hey, how are you doing? What do you do? I'm a banker. Oh, cool. What do you? Well, I'm a runner. Are you good? Fastest in the world. And be like, whoa, okay, well, this conversation's going somewhere right here. Are you the fastest in the world? Be like, no. I just said there's only one fast. So Justin Gatlin, but that's pretty cool to have that. And with us today, we have Mike. We've got Jack. We've got Nathan. They're all kind enough to make time with us today and to talk about a chance to box and give a chance for everybody to box as well. Mike, how's everything going?
Oh, it's going good. How are you doing, Chad?
Well, better after the days, but I'm keeping a positive atmosphere. If this was a Monday, I might be in more of like a grumpy cat face. Yeah. But right now, since it's Friday, I'm just like everything's going to be okay. So, Jack, how's everything going today?
Really well. We just made some plans to change the gymnasium that we're working in, going to a bigger facility and sharing it with another group of karate people, but it's been a good day.
Awesome. So talk a little, and we've got Nathan here as well, and we're going to get to more coming up as well, so we'll share the mics and have some fun with that. You guys, talk a little bit about what the main goal of what you work with, because some people might not be aware and might need the opportunity to get involved, and that's the biggest thing a lot of times that I've looked at. Social media, people that are just looking up stories or just trying to rile people up with their government posts. Yeah, you know what? It happens. You're going to see that, and we know everybody are all of our friends on Facebook. But when it comes down to things like events or charities, that's what I love to use. Is I'll go down there, I'll see events in Pensacola, and it'll say a charity luncheon or this, or a church is giving away this, and then you can get involved with that. And you guys are given a chance, I hope today, on TV and on radio, that we can give you an outlet to let people know how to get involved.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like I said, we appreciate you having us on here. The program that we do, it's a boxing-based program for people with movement disorders. So mainly, like, the philosophy behind the program is that you take an individual who has some type of movement deficiency, and you teach them how to move in an athletic way, to move in the most effective way possible. So you prevent falls, increase range of motion, things like that, working on footwork, just basic boxing techniques. The program that I started with here is Rocksteady, and they did a study through ESPN, where they did 60 sports, and they compared them all, like the physicality and the agility, coordination, all that stuff, and boxing ranked #1. And that's why they kind of based this program on that, because all the traits of Parkinson's, you start to have instability issues, you start to have range of motion issues, you start to have strength issues, start having all these cognitive issues, and they've seen that the boxing really helps with things along those lines. Working on the footwork, having your feet right underneath you, so now your balance is good. you learn to not cross your feet. Now you like when you go to step over something on the ground, instead of crossing your feet and falling over, now you have that normal step pattern like a boxer. Big step, little step, keeping a good base in between your feet, keeping good balance, keeping your feet underneath you. It's kind of the philosophy of the program, kind of how we adapted it.
Yeah, and Jack, talk a little bit about it, because it's fascinating.
Well, it's kind of like the one guy that says on Hair Club, I'm not only a owner, but I'm a member. I have Parkinson's too, so I actually own the gym, but I am a client also, so it's very important to me, close to my heart. But the key that, like Mike said, what we're really working on is trying to keep the people to have as much control of their neuromuscular system as they can, so that they can build strength in their ankles, their knees, their hips, their torso, and most likely will still fall, but maybe they can fall a little slower, a little less impact, and learn how to land. And we actually teach them how to fall.
Yeah, break falls, stuff like that. And then you're also strengthening, along with kind of the balance and agility and strength and stuff like that. Now you're working like range of motion, working neural pathways where you're like actually like use it before you lose it. You know what I mean? Kind of same concept. Instead of like just having someone doing a class where they're doing arm circles or doing something like that, you know what I mean? Not that entertaining to do.
Yeah.
Now you teach someone a skill. Make it, you know what I mean? Makes it fun, makes it exciting. I fight MMA in the area.
Okay.
And the guys, I think one of my coaches actually used to do the show with you, Alex.
Yeah, no, I know Alex. Yeah,
I use his gym.
Okay,
to do
cool.
the program in Pace. Yeah, he, you know what I mean? I came.
Yeah, Alex, Ryan, all those guys.
Yeah,
good,
yes, sir. Yep.
Awesome.
I moved down here when I got out of the military. Alex kind of took me under his wing, taught me a bunch of kickboxing stuff.
He's learned from some of the best.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we went to California together, trained with Marco Ruiz. It was a good deal,
Hey, those gloves right there from Alex, right there on the wall.
Oh really?
Yeah,
nice.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, I ran a program here at Title Boxing Club in Pensacola. They do a similar rock steady program. I ended up leaving that gym, and I went back to Alex, and I was like, hey man, this is what I got going on. These are what I want to do. What do you think? And he was like, you can use my gym. So
that's really
it's been
cool.
Going good. He's got a nice facility. We run. We always start the class seated stretches, go into like a standing stretching, get the blood moving, and then we have like a back like private client room kind of, but there's like a bunch of exercise bikes and stuff in there.
Yes, I've seen. I actually got to take a tour. I think of that.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful.
Really awesome.
One of the nicest gyms around for sure.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. And that's the cool part too about all this is the opportunity. I think everybody looks at what it takes to become a great athlete, to become a boxer, or to become a gym member, or something like that. That you're not doing professionally. That you're not fighting in a tournament like yourself. It's whatever pace you want to pace yourself at.
Yeah.
But it can get you in shape, and you're going there motivated, because you don't wake up. There are a lot of things where you show up to work and you're just looking at the watch. You're 10 minutes in and you're start going on Facebook. Your people and they're just waiting to go home and eat that casserole or that. And this is something where if you show up to be involved with Rocksteady Boxing or go out there and be part of this, then you have to show up prepared. And it might be a preparation level that will be elite, something that is training to fight at the top level, or it might be somebody that wants to get out there. They're suffering from Parkinson's and they found a home in your boxing ring.
A lot of the boxers that tell us say this is like a family to me now. If you run into a Parkinson's patient on the street and ask them, who do you talk to about your Parkinson's? Most of them will say, nobody. They're doing it all by themselves. But we've got it divided. Everyone's a little different, but we do a 90-minute session. 30 minutes is stretching, warming up, getting the joints loose. 30 minutes boxing, and 30 minutes weights, cool down, agility, things like that. So my daughter came in one time and she said, Dad, because most Parkinson's older man's disease, and our gym, I think we're 55 to 87. And my daughter said, Dad, they're working out really hard. I said, they're fighting for their lives.
Jack, how long has boxing been in as part of something that has been part of your life?
I was a baseball player.
Yeah.
I played at Florida in the 70s. And so that was boxing's new to me. I found guys like this to help me because I know just enough to be dangerous. But I went to, when I found out I had this, I started doing some research and found out what Rocksteady Boxing and other programs like that are. I called them and I said, where's the closest one to me? And they said, Tallahassee. I said, I can't drive to Tallahassee. And they said, then start one. And so we did.
And you're just saying Florida in the 70s. We have a coach right here that does a show each and every afternoon right behind you on the wall there, Case Stevenson, who played football there at Florida in the 60s. So, and one of the guys, a former NFL coach for the Bills, who does the show with Jordan each and every day and does a great job. But yeah, that's something that's great is continuing to do something you love and get to do that. I love that. Boxing is that type of sport, or MMA fighting is something that you can actually do. If I said, hey, let's go get a baseball game, pickup game, first off, that'd be a horrible idea because my doctor said stay off my foot for a week. But at the same time, it would be something where it would be really hard to get a bunch of people that have kids and families and grandkids and families to get together 18 people unless it was an organized baseball or softball league. You know what I'm saying? Be like, I'm not going out there. I got to, you could decide at any point to be part of Rocksteady Boxing. You can be an MMA fighter. You just have to do it yourself. You just have to get motivated enough to do it, and that's one thing I like about that.
Yeah, the good thing about the program too is that any level can come out. You know what I mean? If you think you have like some severe issues where you think you're not going to be able to participate, we're going to be able to adapt the program so you're going to be able to do something, and we're going to get you going, and we're going to get you improve quality of life, where you'll be able to participate in the program more. I've had guys, when I worked at the one at Title, a guy in a walker can't even walk. 5 weeks later, he'd be doing 5 laps with no walker at all, just working on core stability strength and working on his posture.
Yeah.
Now, Nate, we're here with Nathan as well. If you want to go ahead and send that over here. I know we got some microphones. Good job there. Look at keyboard cat Jordan over here. Pop, 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 getting that right on time right there. Jordan was out the other day, and I had all this stuff because he has about 50 switches, as you can see here. And I got there. I'm like, I'm going to hit one for everybody. I'll turn on my mic. But I'll tell you, it's something. Nathan, first off, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Talk about getting involved with the program.
I started over at UWF. That's where I met Mike. They were doing some training program over there that's really good for older folks. And he found out that I had Parkinson's. He said, I want to pair up with this guy.
I targeted him.
Yeah. So
I talked to my teacher, and I was like, I got that guy.
That's awesome.
So instead of doing the regular training that they do, which is a lot of weight training and stretching and stuff, we went right to this. And when I first started, we were doing, 30-second
mitt work. Yeah, I do a lot of focus mitt work with them, hand-eye coordination. You work the numbers, start working the cognitive.
We were at 30 seconds, and we do probably 2 at a time, and I was out.
Yep.
And now we're up to
2 minutes. 2, 3. We do 2 4-minute rounds.
Wow.
Hitting mitts, and then in between the rounds, we'll go to like different. Got like a double end bag that I have sideways, range of motion, hand-eye coordination. Yeah. Work on the ropes, duck under, stuff like that. We train official, like training
move.
like you fighting to fight.
Did you immediately see when you were diagnosed with Parkinson's and you took your first class here with the chance to work with Mike and the guys? Did you see that immediate impact, or take a little time to realize, you know what, this is something that's it's working with what I have?
It was probably a couple weeks because we met twice a week, and probably after 2 weeks, when I started in January or February, we started.
February, yeah.
I was walking either with a cane or a walker, and I haven't used one in several months, and lost almost 20 pounds.
Yep, almost 20 pounds. Yeah, he was 367 when we started.
That's awesome right there. Well, it's
really making a huge difference. I can get up more. My balance is better. My stretching is better. I sleep better.
I mean, and that's what I look back at when I quit playing sports. I realized, after got done like in any type of league, organized sports, it was something where you take those things for granted, keeping in shape, eating well. Because you don't want to eat a triple cheeseburger and get out there in the ring because you're not going to feel good. You're gonna be like, Coach, I need to. After a while, you're gonna be like, that's not going to work. So, a lot of times you're going to eat healthier, you're going to feel healthier, you're going to have more confidence, you're going to be able to. I mean, nobody's ever said if you're married or have anybody that nobody's ever said, man, I wouldn't like my man to know how to box or know how to train or know how to protect his family, and that's something. So you're learning so many amazing trademark kind of things to learn. I've always wanted to, but you have to be dedicated to it. And right now, working so many different jobs, going here and there, I don't have time to do full-time training. But I would always envy the people that have a chance to do that or work with it, because that would be fun to be able to go out there and train to be an MMA fighter or a boxer. And it's not easy for people that are like, for broadcasting, oh, well, yeah, this guy just talks sports. He just reads. We have a lot of things we do. We both went to school for broadcast communications. I worked for the headquarters in Bristol for a little while. We take our job professionally, but everybody says I can pull up something and read scores, and it's not the same. You can't just I can go out there. I got strong hands. Look at these muscles. It's completely different. The stamina, the technique, the training, and you guys do an incredible job with that.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's give it over here to Jack one more time here. Nathan, appreciate that, as we're going to go ahead and take a break here in a few seconds. Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk to you guys some more, as we've got Jack, Nathan, and Mike in here to talk a little bit about boxing, Rocksteady Boxing, and also the training facilities that Mike and everybody just doing an incredible job with it. We're going to talk some more when we return on this.
When the sand gets hot, you gotta move fast, like a dog chasing a Frisbee. Move just as fast to the Ford Hurry Up and Save sales event. Because for the first time ever, you can get 20% estimated savings on select Ford vehicles. Plus, earn complimentary maintenance through Ford Pass Rewards. Don't let this hot deal on America's best-selling brand pass you by. Get into the Ford Hurry Up and Save sales event. Based on 2010 through 2018 calendar year sales. Modem must be activated within 60 days of purchase through the Ford Pass app on a smartphone and remain active for at least 6 months after activation. Eligible on select 2019 model year vehicles. Vehicle must have arrived at dealer at least 61 days prior to the sale date. Estimated savings include an average dealer discount based on a sales survey at average discounts offered by Ford dealers nationally. Discount may vary. Dealer determines price. For all offers, take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stock by 9/3/19. See participating dealer for complete details.
Introducing. Nah, not big enough. It's the brand new. Nah, still not big enough. Introducing the brand new French-inspired topped with fresh fruit crepes lineup, only at Denny's. Yeah, that's better. There's the new banana chocolate hazelnut crepes, the banana berry caramel crepes, and the strawberry vanilla crepes, made with fresh strawberries, strawberry sauce, and vanilla cream. Fresh fruit, French, and delicious. Come try all three. See you at Denny's. Price and participation may vary. Limited time only.
Paul Feinbaum here for the Southeast leader for cranes and equipment rental, Craneworks. The Craneworks team in Nashville, Birmingham, and Mobile is ready to make your next construction or maintenance project a big success. Give Craneworks a call for your next lift, machinery moving, or rigging project. And don't forget, RentalWorks has a full line of rental equipment for jobs both big and small, and now offering qualified operators for all equipment, including aerial and earth moving equipment. Call Craneworks at 877-282-LIFT or visit them on the web at craneworks.com.
The Big One sales event is on at Bob Tyler Toyota with special low Bob Tyler prices. New 2019 RAV4 LE just $219 a month. New 2019 Camry LE $179 a month. Or new 2019 Corolla LE just $99 a month. Bob Tyler Toyota has over 10 acres of pre-owned inventory, including Toyota certified vehicles. Hurry in before the Big One sales event ends. Through credit, 12,000 mile, 36-month leases, $49.99 cash or trade equity down, excludes tax tag, registration, title, 0 security deposit. All prices include $899.50 dealer fees. Dealer for details expires 7/31/19.
Paul Feinbaum here for the Southeast leader for cranes and equipment rental, Craneworks. The Craneworks team in Nashville, Birmingham, and Mobile is ready to make your next construction or maintenance project a big success. Give Craneworks a call for your next lift, machinery moving, or rigging project. And don't forget, RentalWorks has a full line of rental equipment for jobs both big and small, and now offering qualified operators for all equipment, including aerial and earth moving equipment. Call Craneworks at 877-282-LIFT or visit them on the web at craneworks.com.
Attention, all crab cake lovers. Mark your calendar for the Arc Gateway Annual Crab Cake Cook-Off, sponsored by Dr. Stu Bonin, the kids' dentist, at Seville Quarter on Wednesday, July 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. Sample over 15 varieties of crab cakes made by local chefs, organizations, and restaurants. Enjoy live music, beer tasting provided by the Pensacola Bay Brewery, and silent auction and artwork available for purchase. Proceeds go to the Arc Gateway. Tickets are limited, so call Brittany at 434-2638 or visit arc-gateway.org.
And welcome back. Sports Drive with you right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV. Mike, Jack, and Nathan joining us here, having a chance to talk to us. Rocksteady Boxing, and they train a chance to work with, and as Jack is himself, somebody that has been diagnosed with Parkinson's, and a chance to get out there and box, fight in a ring, and have a chance to learn and really help people come together as a community, and also help with the disease. And Jack, you were talking about everything from earlier about having a chance to get out there and what it does for some of the people that you see in the ring.
Yeah, you were just talking about how people are devoted athletes, and the point I wanted to make was an interesting thing with Parkinson's. Many of these people were never athletes, and the ones that were, it was 30 years ago, and they haven't been in the gym. And all of a sudden you're asking them, say, I can help you, but you got to come to the gym. And I'm sure that was that way with you. And come to the gym. I've got Parkinson's. I'm old. I can't come to the gym.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the denial. Parkinson's is one of those neurological disorders that everybody wants to say, I don't have that. I don't have that. So they don't want to deal with it. And a lot of them wait till the very late end stages of it, and then they're harder to work with. Yeah.
Does it usually start? Do you see the hands? Is it usually, what's the first? Is there any part of the body that you usually find out first that you have Parkinson's?
Usually the hand. Yeah. But they've done studies that show that most of us lose the sense of smell maybe years before we show any other signs. Catching your foot, like walking in the park, and all of a sudden you catch your foot, you slide your feet.
Yeah, shuffle gait.
Shuffle gait.
Yeah, developing like a shuffle gait.
Starting to stoop
early sign.
is an early sign. Tremors, stooping. It can get into your swallowing and your talking. You get a very mild voice where you can't hardly be heard by anyone.
Or if you see someone with like a really like forward head carriage, usually is like a sign of like Parkinson's. Because you start to put stress on the neurons. It's like one of the things with the disease. You know, you focus a lot, especially in the classes, we focus a lot on posture. Because as you get that forward head carriage and that loss of posture, you put stress on the neurons. They're stretching, now your neural pathways are being impacted. And as you like correct posture, they've done studies where you'll see they'll start people off, they'll measure them, show like where their alignment of their spine is, and like they'll have like their symptoms. And then as their like alignment gets better and they stand straighter, sometimes you'll see tremors go away. Shuffle gait will go away. Cognitively, they'll start to get better. One of the guys that's in his program down in Gulf Breeze, because I go down there and volunteer. My program's called something different. It's the Golden Ages Boxing. Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah,
a little
absolutely.
bit different. Not
Okay.
yet.
No.
But no, it's all based off the same thing. You know what I mean? So it's all the same. But one of the guys in his
Golden Ages Boxing.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
And one of his guys in his programs has real bad like neck posture. You know what I mean? Real slanted to the left. And every time I go down there, I'm like, I'm about to stretch this guy's neck. You know, and I'll like try to straighten him out a little bit, and like you'll literally see cognitive improvements instantly in his movements and everything. Like he'll be able to box better. It's like pretty drastic.
You know, and I feel like, Jack, if we leave here today and one person out there listening might just have just noticed it, or maybe they haven't, they know they have it, but they haven't admitted to it, or they are somebody that has been dealing with it for years upon years and didn't know this was an outlet they could have. Just one person today with ESPN Pensacola 94.5 with Blab TV. If one person goes and talks to you all about this, to me, that's awesome, because this is something. I mean, we get to advertise businesses, but frankly, I love all of our businesses, but it is not going to affect my life if all of you right now go have tacos at one of my sponsors or this. It would help because they're going to be like, hey, I hear those people. But you actually having tacos is not going to affect my. Doing something from the standpoint of this is something that's cool, because it gives somebody that maybe didn't know they had a chance to get out there and do this a positive new start and a new beginning. And that's cool to think that could happen.
Yeah, my oldest boxer that I have right now is 87. His wife drug him in a while back, and I remember looking at him and saying, oh my goodness, are we going to do this? And he was an avid walker and hiker, and he'd lost the ability to do that. He was tripping and stumbling, and he and his wife told me the other day, he said he's walking to church again, which is only 3 blocks, but he couldn't do it. And he went to his doctor the other day, and he got up out of the chair and turned around, and his doctor said, what did you just do? He said, I just got him turned around. He said, you couldn't do that a couple of months ago. Wow. So it's one of the few things that in neurological disorders that actually has proven data that shows that it can reverse the symptoms of the disease.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of a lot of info on there, a lot of research. You go on NCBI, and they got you can look up PubMed and see some studies on that stuff, and then they got Also, one thing we incorporate into our program, the Golden Ages, is they do a lot of like cycling for Parkinson's and things along those lines. So I got some cardio machines in the back. We got an elliptical, got a fan bike, and like some other type of like cardio bikes like that. So I always get my guys on those bikes for like 10 minutes, get the blood going good, and then I get them on the mat and we start doing our boxing. Works out good. It's been going good so far. One of my guys in the program, he actually bought himself a bicycle. His balance got so good that he bought a bike so he can ride a bike when he's at home. When he's not mowing his lawn, right, Nathan? When he's not mowing, Mike's always mowing his lawn. We're like, hey, Mike, what'd you do today? He's like, I mowed the lawn.
That's
like,
pretty
man.
cool. Hey, I'm telling you, it's when you own a home real quickly, you realize I like mowing the lawn, but I also don't mind the winter months where I don't have to mow it as many. I look out there, I'm like, that looks like what it looked like last month. And then, last week I just mowed it, and then I look, I'm like, come on now. That was 5 days ago and 100 degrees. But, guys, we're up against the top of the hour. I really appreciate you guys coming up here. I'm glad that we could help in any way, whatever we can do to help promote Rocksteady Boxing, fighting back against Parkinson's. Go down there and have a chance to box with somebody in Jack that has worked with that. Mike with right there, Golden Ages Boxing, doing a great job. Nathan, one of the guys that is a walking, living, breathing, gotten better, and have an opportunity to succeed in boxing and doing that. It's incredible to think right there. Guys, we really appreciate it. Thank you again.
Thank you.
You guys have a wonderful day and enjoy your weekend. All right, we're coming back for more right here in the Sports Drive.
This is Pensacola's hometown all-sports station and home of the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 945. Catch all the Wahoos games home and away all season, plus all the latest Wahoos news from Chad Brillante on the Sports Drive, 5 till game time weeknights. And hey, if your business would like to partner with us as an advertiser or with a local sports promotion, then give us a call at 850-262-6000 or shoot us an email from the advertise page on ESPNpensacola.com.
Those up the at the 40, Derek Brooks 30, Brooks to the 29, 20, Derek Brooks all the way, touchdown Tampa Bay, Derek Brooks, the dagger's in, we're going to win the Super Bowl.
Bubba Watson is wearing a green jacket, and this time his name is Bubba.
Pitch on the way, Russell drives one in the air, deep left center, that back near the wall, it's got a chance, grand slam, Addison Russell.
The new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
And Richardson breaks free on the sideline, end zone. How about that? Bama scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trick Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And these them Louisiana, Pensacola guys, they looking crazy and all that.
Morris, blocked by the tight end Paul. That opens up the door. Breaking the Kendricks tackle. To the pylon. Touchdown.
Really nice effort there by Alfred Morris, extending that ball over the goal line.
Near side ball is that big game. Doug Baldwin's got a first down. And Doug Baldwin, 93 yards, now has back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons.
Reggie Evans, and he's going to get an ovation. Guy from Pensacola, Florida.
And welcome back. Sports Drive with you right here on ESPN Pensacola 945 and on Blab TV at 6:30. We're going to send it out to Chris Garagiola and the Pensacola Blue Wahoos as they'll be taking on the Montgomery Biscuits in that game right there. I feel like when I'm saying a couple words in the South, And I'm clearly not from here. When they see me,
you got to throw that southern aristocrat.
Yeah. Montgomery,
Montgomery biscuits.
Little Rock. Some of those Texarkana. Some of those places you got to. Montgomery seems like one of those.
It's like a mix of Foghorn Leghorn meets Southern Social.
Yeah.
I do declare those Montgomery biscuits are coming to town.
Doesn't do justice to say like I live in Andalusia. You know what I'm saying? Like Andalusia.
That's
what I'm saying. Andalusia. So here's the thing. That is one of the topics we talked about earlier today. The biggest influence in college football can be a quarterback.
Absolutely.
And we got more quarterbacks as we get ready for SEC Media Days. Brent Baer will join us Monday from there. He's going to be our right-hand man sending us some stuff over there, as well as throughout the week with interviews and up-to-date. We have our own inside sources, but not from some mom's basement blog where the guy's just making stuff up. It's Brent's going to be out there and sending us stuff throughout the day. But it looks like that in college football, this is going to be a year, and there's a lot of years like that. But because we've beamed up Scotty through the transfer portal, we have more quarterbacks, Jordan, that we're going to recognize now in new places. Don't worry, not crushing my toe. Don't worry.
I felt something. I was like, God, please
I
don't
won't
let that
throw
be the
this
toe.
glass in your face. You'll know because I'm like, ah! But
I've never jerked my foot back so
13
quick.
years of broadcast, I've never yelled out an F-bomb on air. This would be the day.
Have.
But yeah. But say your Hail Marys, Chad. It's going to be Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
What Justin Fields is doing at Ohio State. What you have in Tate Martell at Miami, Kelly Bryant at Missouri. Guys like now Brandon Wimbush, it looks like will be starting at UCF after being from Notre Dame.
Right.
And all of these teams across the board are getting brand new faces, and it should be fun to see.
Yeah, no, it should be, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out with these teams, especially Jalen Hurts. Look, Jalen Hurts has got a tough task ahead of him. He's taken over a program for Oklahoma that is coming off of two different quarterbacks that have not only led them to the college football playoffs, but, oh, by the way, have also won Heisman trophies as well in Baker Mayfield and then Kyler Murray. So this is a tough situation for him, and he's not going to live up to that hype. I don't think he's going to check either one of those boxes. I don't think he makes it to the playoffs. I don't think he makes it as a Heisman Trophy candidate. I don't even think he gets to New York. I think the saving grace for him is the fact that he's going to be playing teams inside the Big 12 that don't know what defense is, so they're not going to be able to, he's not going to be playing LSU. He's not going to be playing Auburn. He's not going to be able to play Florida, and it's going to be things like that are going to help him, but I still don't see him living up to that hype. But yeah, this is definitely the year of the quarterback. People are going to be keeping an eye on the new guys with new places like Tate Martell, Justin Fields, those guys you named, but also the Tua Tagovailoas and Trevor Lawrence as well.
And that's the kind of thing, because you look at these guys on the new teams, and you just mentioned when Jalen Hurts, he's stepping into an easier situation, just week in, week out, of who he's going to play.
Right.
And then, but at the same time, he also isn't going to be running. Well, I mean, Oklahoma is very close to, but he's not going to have a defense to be able to bail him out. That's a better way to put it.
Right.
For Alabama, he could get away. Think about that. You remember the game against Kelly Bryant in Clemson 2 years ago? It was an awful football game if you liked scoring. But the final score of the game, I think, was 23-6. But it was just a bunch of punts. The defense, I think, set Alabama up for it was when Darius Payne went nasty that game, and you had a team that was set up by a couple easy touchdowns. He didn't have to do anything, and they won that game easily in a big time situation to get to the national title game. If you look at this year, if he slips up or makes mistakes or does a 3-and-out, defense isn't there to bail him out.
Yeah, and especially he's going to be going up against guys like Sam Ehlinger at Texas, and you look elsewhere throughout the league. Baylor's probably going to be a little bit better. Texas Tech, we don't really know what we're going to get from them, but they're going to be going up against teams that are. If Jalen Hurts does turn the ball over, like you said, he doesn't have that Alabama defense on the other side to bail him out and either force another turnover to give them the ball back or get a stop. They're probably going to give up points after a turnover in Oklahoma, and that's going to be, I think, one of the defining factors of this season for them and why they're probably going to lose a couple of games along the way.
I think, by the way, have you seen this thing about the Area 51 that people are going to go try to storm it?
Yes. Let's
go to Sam Cassell's house. I'm just saying,
I've been to Area 51.
I've seen Brett Gardner play baseball. I'm okay.
If you take a left turn and you go the wrong road out there, they will have armed patrols on you so quickly. So go ahead. Try
so there is like the public area. I have not. See, I lived in Vegas in that area.
There's a part of the road where they don't mind you actually like being on, but then when you get too far on that road, you start seeing these like Toyota Tacomas and stuff on top of ridges above you, and then all of a sudden, if you keep going, they'll actually kind of come and make you turn around and head back where you came from. So yeah, they're I don't know what's being held there. I don't know if they just want to keep people off the property, because if you tried to drive through the front gate of NAS Pensacola, they're going to stop you just like they would if it was Area 51, because it's a military base. So, good luck storming it, guys.
Well, those pop-ups, and when we took digital classes here with VG Creative at the station, so I know a lot more about the pop-ups now. I'm like, aha, I know what that means, actually. It's a bark ad or native. Like, it's funny, I actually know these things now. But at the same time, I do know that some of those ones at the bottom, like you want to see the celebrities that were 10 and now are 60 and still look just smoking, and you're like, oh, I got to check this one out, Grandma. See, they get you once in a while.
Right.
For this one, it was, I remember, things you won't believe are really on this universe, fossils and things that are happened. And you'll see some of these crazy looking, not dinosaur prehistoric, but some of the things that were caught in the ocean and other things like that. And you start looking at the bottom of the sea, those things, like even an anglerfish, anglerfish, if you don't know what that is, the lanternfish, just look at that. Type in lanternfish, anglerfish on your phone and say, if God or if somebody created this.
We can make that easy. Yeah. They don't even have to Google it. Finding Nemo. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, but if somebody created that, then you could have a UFO somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like that's so, or it could be from this planet, and you could see it in a tank and be like, "Oh, that's from somewhere crazy." I mean, that's
or what if it's some type of new tech that the military's out there, and that's the whole point of Area 51 is that's where they test it to make sure it works before they put it out to where the military can use it. Because think about it, first person that saw a stealth bomber fly over their head probably thought that thing looked a little weird. The shape of it probably looked a little alien. So they probably saw that and go, "Oh, well, I saw a UFO."
Have you seen the new Spider-Man, by the way?
I have. Went saw it last night.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they could put on a show. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they could.
Couple of drones,
they could be like, "All right, let's give these people something they want to see." So all these people start marching, and you put together somebody just like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man that comes out of there. Be like, "Oh my goodness, we shouldn't have upset them. You shouldn't be here." Like coming at these people, and then be like, "Well, we all saw what they saw," and then and then be like, "All right, we're done here." So give them a show, give them something to see, or maybe not see. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. You got hologram Elvis performing. People are paying $100 for hologram Elvis tickets.
Just your storming
Can
area.
I meet him after the concert?
You're storming Area 51 all of a sudden over the top of a ridge. It's like, what is going on?
No, in Vegas, they have a hologram Elvis. Like he performs on stage. Michael Jackson, too. All of these guys. But they can shut hologram Michael Jackson off so he doesn't go do stupid things afterwards. Yeah, I'm going to talk to that kid. Boop. Nope. Turn off power. But
they also have a Tupac out there, too?
Yeah. Hologram Elvis. So think about that. Can I speak with Elvis afterwards? Be like, Elvis is tired. He's not taking calls. A hologram Elvis is taking over.
His battery's died.
Yeah. He ain't nothing but what is he? Ain't nothing but. I didn't get the last word right there. Hound Biscuit. I'm telling you, it is. Give them a show. Give them a show in Area 51. And I know there's things out there, but I think that I like not knowing everything. We all like not knowing something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have something prized. You're a sports fan right now, and you got that prize thing on the wall right now. You got your favorite player to sign a team jersey, and it is up there. Or you're a Red Sox fan, and you got part of the Green Monster up there in your man cave. And today someone was down there cleaning.
We got Tim Tebow to sign the law.
That's right. There you go. Look at that. It just happened like 2 seconds ago. That's the Binghamton Rumble Ponies jersey.
Right, yeah.
And imagine if somebody was cleaning and they did something like they dropped and cracked and shattered and then they don't tell anybody. You would rather almost, or it didn't break, but it almost did. You'd almost rather just someone put it up on the wall and not say a word. I would like to. I'd rather not be like, "Oh my goodness, I was down there and I just smashed my head against your painting right there." I'd be like, "Well, what the heck?" No, nothing happened.
Right.
You got lucky. I was trying to crush my head into that glass and get it all over the floor. You'd be like, "All right, lunatic." But but at the
correct you right now.
Yeah, but you don't want. I'm like TMI. Don't need to know that. You know what I'm saying? Do not give me that. I know that there are stuff out there that we don't want to know about, So I'm fine. I feel like our country would not be, if it was something that they could profit, which is our country, you have to pay to get in the Smithsonian, people, things like that. Like, if it was something that was cuddly little things where it's like, oh, that's sweet.
Like an Ewok,
Yeah, like an Ewok. Like, we would have be $5 to take selfies with the Ewok.
See,
like,
I was just thinking how great it would be, like, if we'd already planned out this topic and just had one of the Cat Country brand ambassadors dressed as an alien just go running across the
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I may or may not have been here today.
Yeah.
Well, actually, my brain
might be a hologram
I was going to
today.
say, hey,
Yeah.
coming in here today, people are like, you look a little pale.
Yeah.
It's true. We're going to go ahead and take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk some more. I'm going to tell you how you can get 12 tacos, 3 chimichangas, and a burrito for a price that is less than a car. It's all coming back right here in the Sports Drive.
Sports is live and local every Saturday from 11 to 1.
Kawhi, him and his free agency, or him just sitting around waiting to sign with the team, had a lot to do with more than just the Lakers. There were other teams that were tied into this trade as well to determine their next moves. And for the Lakers, they still haven't finalized the Anthony Davis deal.
Sports Call with Jordan Glass and Davis Allen on your radio, on Facebook, and YouTube.
Southern California basketball is going to be where everybody's paying attention to this upcoming season.
At ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
The Gulf Coast is a boating playground, and every boater knows that boats need maintenance. George Stone Technical College is offering program scholarships for marine service technology classes with an instructor who has over 30 years experience in the field and has classes backed by Yamaha Training. To learn about the salary in marine service technology, check the schedule and how much the program will cost to graduate. Visit georgestoncollege.edu. That's georgestoncollege.edu.
What you want, honey?
Sausage and French toast.
Shug, we don't have any of that here.
Well, I guess I'm heading to see Janie at Harley Davidson of Pensacola for their fancy French toast brunch.
Can I come?
This Saturday at 11, Harley's Angels will be serving free French toast, sausage, and coffee. Save on motor clothes, long sleeves, 1903 collection, and garage collection merchandise. No more excuses this summer. Enjoy your freedom with the Harley Davidson of Pensacola. Harley Davidson, Pensacola. Let's ride.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
He was a star quarterback at Pensacola High, played alongside Gator great Steve Spurrier, and rose up the ranks to become head coach of the Buffalo Bills. Now, he's talking football on ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Coach K brings football to life year-round. The teams, the players, and the front office. Talk football with Coach K every day at noon on your radio. And Coach K live on Facebook and YouTube at ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
If you're hitting 200 at the plate for the Pensacola Blue Wahoos, life isn't that great. But if you're hitting up 200 before the Wahoos games, things can't get much better. 200 South is your Blue Wahoos pre-party destination. Grab an ice-cold draft with the best selection in town at World of Beer. Relax in the most hoppin' spot at Blend Lounge. Or grab a quick bite to eat at Graffiti Pizza or Taco Aguave before the game. 200 South Palafox in downtown Pensacola. Peanuts and Cracker Jacks are all right, but a slice and an ice-cold draft, now that's a home run. And welcome back. Sports Drive with you right here. ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV as we count down 44 days until the start of the college football season. Also, it is Blue Angels week. We're always excited to have the Blue Angels. I was going to trade in the suit jacket last year for pretty much bathing suits when I was out there having a chance to we were right there at Pensacola Beach, Hilton. Got to enjoy a nice day. Apparently, there's this drink called Jet Fuel going around that has conned my spirit of the blues, but it's all right. If you like it, if it's a good drink, it's all right.
I'll text you and let you know tomorrow.
I'll just say I will too.
Okay.
I'm getting more mobility in this. This morning I could not walk. I literally I asked Brittany to put me on one of the hotel carts to get to my car, and I drove left-footed all the way to urgent care because my doctor is watching the Blue Angels, which is fine. He's like, sorry, I'm not going in there for that. I'm like, God, that's okay. I wouldn't either. I was the only guy driving away from the beach. Like everybody else was like, what is going on? I'm like, hey, everybody, I'm leaving in the morning. But went out there, could not walk. They put me in a wheelchair, which it just has people staring at you. That's why they asked me to have crutches, and I was like, no, I don't need to every 5 seconds tell people why I'm on crutches. And it is something where I'm just very slowly gimping everywhere I go, and wearing a sandal and a shoe. But Jordan, it is. I'm still going to try these different types of medicine that are kicking in here are starting to help. So I'm telling you, I might be out there tomorrow.
All right.
And I'm sure Jeff, you won't hurt it. Won't help the nerves right there.
No,
I said.
no.
I won't realize. Your toe is getting worse.
You'll have about 3 of those, and you'll be sitting there going, I have toes?
Hey, what up, man? Sir, you just fell in a pothole. Yeah. All right. Let's get to a couple sports here. A little fact or fiction and trivia. You tell me which one of these is not true. Roger Maris, the home run king, pre-steroid era, was never intentionally walked the entire season when he hit 61 home runs. Doc Ellis pitched a no-hitter on LSD. Former Cubs closer Turk Wendell wore a necklace made of 15 different jungle cat teeth. Or Royals Hall of Fame third baseman George Brett once came at a McDonald's drive-thru attendant with a bat and said, supersize this.
I hope the last one is the one that's not true. Because I know the necklace is real. I'm not sure on the number. I know we've talked about Doc Ellis and LSD. That's
whether anybody wants to admit to it, because it's not like a heartwarming story. They do, but that's the best accomplishment in the history of anything. Maybe
really.
Think about that. If you went in, most of us joke when you see like a third baseman come in there and pitch the one inning and he just gets crushed for 3 home runs. To pitch in the major leagues is insane. To pitch a no-hitter in the major leagues is almost unheard of, but a few people. To pitch a no-hitter while on LSD, seeing purple dragons and things. At one point, he says afterwards, who Doc Ellis later died from drugs, he said he remembers the ball getting thrown back to him from the mound from the catcher, and he ducked. And they were like, what's up, man? And he's like, oh, sorry, I thought it was coming at me.
He's just standing there on the mound. He's like, Doc, what's going on? Shh, the grass is talking to me.
It pitched a whole, I wonder if there was any meetings at the mound. Be like, yeah, coach, okay, I'm seeing that thing on it. Have you got that raccoon off the top of your head yet? Be like, what are you talking about, Doc?
Staring at the guy the whole time. Then just, when did you get here?
Why do we have a panda on the mound with us? But you get to a point where you realize that is, like I said, not a heartwarming story. It's not Kurt Gibson fist pumping after an injury.
Yeah.
It's not, a victory on a kick six. He's like, he brought that up. Or these moments, anything. It's not a 25-point comeback in the fourth quarter from a Super Bowl champion.
Right.
But it's still insanely incredible.
Running,
but it's still the most
past Gronkowski for a game-winning touchdown.
It's the most incredible thing you can do. Don't try it, kids. We don't condone it. It is George Brett, by the way. Moving on here. Which one of these is not true? We love a good tennis volley. The longest point in tennis history took how long? A, I don't care. B, 6 minutes. C, 29 minutes. Or D, an hour and a half.
It took 29 minutes.
29 minutes, yeah. That's a lot. Thank God Monica Seles wasn't part of that. All right. Imagine that for 29 minutes right there. Between breaths, you're talking about how many one of those, and then one of the let me see. That would be a lot. I'd say over 783 Monica Seles's on that one right there if she was involved in that point. So I'm glad she wasn't.
Yeah, I would go with that too.
I'm glad she was not. Actually, there's a women's match.
Is there a flock of crows around here? What's going on?
There was a match in Australia that lasted 28 minutes, and the guy's name was Tomic the Tank Train. Bernard Tomic, by the way. Yeah, that is a nickname. That's pretty cool right there. Tomic the Tank Train. Now so now we know one of my Leighton's favorite shows has been ripped off from this guy in 1984 who played in Australia.
That show's still on the air?
Yeah. 2 or 4 or 6 or 8.
Wow.
Yeah. 2 or 4 or 6 or 8. Yeah, I'm not going to sing it.
I can remember having all
I know all
these
these
when I was a kid. Yeah.
Look, I watched these shows. I have more DVRs My DVRs at my house get crushed. I am sandwiched in there. Like, I will DVR the Red Sox if they're on or things like that, but you'll have one MLB game, and it'll be like 16 Real Housewives right there, and then it'll be Paw Patrol, Curious George, things like Thomas the Tank Train, princess shows, and all of a sudden, there's that one game slithered in there. So I mean, it's all right. I got the iPad. I'm good. I got that. Not that I'll ever watch games while I'm working or doing anything. No. Not that it's 0-0 in the end of the first right here. Yeah. So, but guys, looking at some of the things before we get going here for the weekend, if you're going out to the Blue Angels, they did perform today. They did have to cut back a little on some of the planes. Yeah. But it still is going to be an awesome show. The civilian planes, they cut back a few. Rob Williams, who actually worked here, but we've all worked with Rob. Yep. And Rob is doing the announcing for it. Rob's he's very good. He's very knowledgeable of his history.
I will have to stop by and say hello.
Yes. Yeah. So he was out there, and Rob texted me a little while ago with the updates, which he didn't have to do, but he was keeping me posted while I was getting X-rays of my foot on in there. So, yeah, that's what I said. I'm in pain, but thank you for letting me know.
Yeah.
There's a huge story right there. Stuff just incredible right there. Looking at the possibility, stealing first, it's going to happen. This isn't something like the Rays Expos where we talked that they were actually talking about it finally trying to happen, which I hope that is done, which it's not. They're still talking about that, but it should be done. The conversation of the Rays and the Expos joining on one team, that's just ridiculous. You could be border buddies. We were thinking of nicknames for the teams. Dome Dusters.
I still like the what was it? The Montreal X instead of the Expos, it was the X-Rays or whatever.
It was the Tampontreal.
Tampontreal, yeah. X-Rays.
X-Rays. You combine all their names.
Yeah.
So everyone has pretty much a play on words. Tampontreal.
I mean, there's
X-Rays.
great advertising potential there.
Yeah. Come first 1,000 into the stadium. Ladies' night, first 1,000 in, get their own Tampontreal bobblehead doll. That might backfire.
Yeah.
Ladies, first 1,000 in, we'll get Tampontreal bobbleheads. All right. What? I've been waiting in line for a while here, and I'm not going down that path. All right. So I'm getting angry. I'm looking at.
I was gonna say giveaways once a month, but that's too far.
Stop. Enough on this show. You're gonna today. I will take these stories and go into a realm I haven't right now, because I am starting to actually lose it. I don't know exactly. I should know more about this, but 151/98 is not a good blood pressure. I don't think.
I don't
think that was good.
My mom's a nurse, and she listens.
I don't think
so
that's.
She'll probably text
tell me
in a little bit.
151/98. That's what it was this morning. And I get checked because I had an EKG on my heart based on how much coffee and caffeine I drink on a daily basis, which is like way too much. That's when my hair gets like this. It's flat in the morning, and they said that it's usually normal. I think 120/80 is normal, isn't it? I believe 120/80 is what you want to be at. That's what I thought.
Let's see.
That's what I thought.
That is too high.
Oh, it's way too high.
Yeah,
I think.
and apparently on this,
the lady told me that too, but she didn't. But that's the thing is like you could tell it was urgent care, and there was more. There was like, oh, that's too high, and then we moved on. I was like, okay.
According to what I was reading on Google, which take it with a grain of salt, that is actually labeled as hypertension stage 1.
Well, there you go. Well, between this toe, I mean, I have a toe that on its own has decided my whole foot not to work. So something is not going right now. So this was not something because I walked into a wall or kicked a wall.
Right.
My toe has swollen into the size of a balloon.
Because I was going to say, you've been walking around fairly better than what you had at least
it's the medicine.
The past few days.
It's completely the medicine.
Okay.
I mean, it's a complete act. It's all medicine. Because this morning I was like the Walking Dead guys that half their body were cut off.
It was like your
trying to get some stuff.
Like your Roger Clemens bloody sock game. You just keep focused. Yeah.
And nobody likes a guy at a condo that's hopping like a bunny at 1 foot on 1 foot at 2 a.m. I had to go to the restroom and boom, 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 and everybody probably was like, "You got to be kidding me!" But it's going to be fun. We count down 46 days till college football. Biggest story of the offseason, because when we come back on Monday, it is going to be SEC Media Days. Biggest story of the college football offseason so far: transfer portal takeover, Herb back out. We'll see for how long. The story of pretty much you have new faces in new places, or Les Miles is back in coaching.
I think it's easily got to be the transfer portal. That's been the biggest story.
I sort of set up for like a double win there on Family Feud, because I guess you could say that the new faces and new places would be the same exact thing in a different version, right? I mean, that's what it is. Justin Fields and
that's
part of the transfer process. So I mean, but you're right. You're right. I agree with you. Biggest under the radar story. After almost winning the Big 12 title at West Virginia, remember they were a couple passes away with Will Grier. Little less protein shake Will Grier, but he was out there throwing touchdowns against. And remember, they almost beat Oklahoma to win the Big 12.
Right.
After almost winning the Big 12 title at West Virginia, Dana Holgorsen heads outside of the Power 5 conference, but he takes more cash at Houston. Is that in the big-time realm to you?
I think so, because of the year that West Virginia had. I think it was definitely an odd situation there for them to. He just ups and leaves after a great year. I mean, we don't see that a lot, outside of Urban Meyer, of course.
How about John Scheipel in his first season at a school, to be mentioned later, goes undefeated in the regular season?
I think that
what school is that, by the way?
I think South Florida? No, I'm kidding. Central Florida. Had to get you back for the
get
Dolphin
back on.
comment
We're on I-4 here, sir.
Yeah.
No.
But no, that was payback for the Dolphin comment
don't
earlier.
worry,
But I think I would say that's actually a big story, because I think a lot of people, when he took that job, people go, oh, well, there you go. It was Scott Frost that had them undefeated. That's not going to continue to happen. And he went undefeated outside of the Fiesta Bowl. So, yeah.
No lie, I've had no clue what either of us said over the last 4 minutes, because I'm staring at this Cinnabon waiting till 6:30 to hit right here. But, yeah, it was Josh Heupel was an incredible job and should not be forgotten, even if they're on their third-string quarterback. We got a lot more. Amari Rodgers, this is one that has been forgotten by many outside of the diehard college football fans. Amari Rodgers, wide receiver from Clemson, was second in catches in 2019. He's out with a torn ACL. Could miss the whole season. Ooh. Justin Ross is big, but if you're going to win it all, because that's the level. Clemson has set the level at we win it all with Trevor Lawrence or it's a bust.
Right.
And there's only a few teams there's 3 teams that have that level. There's Clemson, there's Alabama and Georgia. Mm-hmm. If they don't win the title, it's a bust.
Yep.
And I look at losing your second best receiver. That's not easy to replace.
No, it's not.
And they'll find another probably true freshman to have more yards, but that still is not good for Clemson. Dexter Lawrence not being in the championship wasn't that bad for him, though, so sometimes they find a way to do okay when they're put against the wall. Speaking against the wall, I am going to go sit against the wall and relax a little while, because we are sending out to the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. We appreciate you joining us. Enjoy the Blue Angels. Be safe if you're heading out there. Remember, the tolls are open, so just continue to drive.
Yep.
And if someone is stopped, though, don't honk at them, because there might be a light up the road. That's right, yeah.
Get out of the way.
That's right. I am not coming out and chasing you, literally. No. Yeah. So, hey, Jordan, have a great rest of your night and enjoy it.
You too, man.
All right. For Jordan Glass, I'm Chad Brilliante. We'll send it to Chris Garagiola and the Pensacola Blue Wahoos right here. ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV.
There's a